narrative opens with CIA officer Ed Hoffman briefing his superiors on the evolution of terrorist tactics. He explains that terrorists have grown sophisticated, leveraging advanced technology for all operations. Where they once met in person, they now operate from hidden locations, communicating remotely, which grants them a global and perilous reach. Hoffman confesses his dwindling faith in human field agents, asserting that only technological and satellite surveillance can keep them ahead of the adversary. The scene then shifts to Iraq, where undercover CIA operative Roger Ferris is on a mission to capture a formidable terrorist leader, Al-Salim. With his local partner, Sam, Ferris pursues a lead on Al-Salim's network, unaware they are under observation. In the desert, Al-Salim's militants ambush their vehicle. A fierce firefight ensues with RPGs launched at them. Sam is killed, and Ferris is severely wounded before U.S. military forces intervene, eliminate the attackers, and evacuate Ferris to a base in Qatar for treatment. After his recovery, Hoffman assigns Ferris a new mission. Concurrently, in Manchester, England, a terrorist cell detonates a bomb. When police raid their workshop to prevent further attacks, the terrorists trigger a second, larger explosion, killing themselves and numerous others, intensifying pressure on the CIA. Ferris and Hoffman clash persistently over methodology. Ferris believes in human intelligence, forging connections and extracting information from people, while Hoffman trusts only technology and orbital assets. Despite this friction, Ferris continues his pursuit of Al-Salim and uncovers intelligence pointing to a terrorist safe house in Jordan. He travels there immediately. Finding the local CIA team ineffective, Ferris dismisses them and approaches the headquarters of the Jordanian Intelligence Directorate, GID, to meet its chief, Hani Salam. Initially skeptical and insisting Jordan is secure from Al-Salim's influence, Hani is persuaded when Ferris presents photographic evidence of terrorist activity within his borders. Hani agrees to collaborate, but on the strict condition that Ferris never lies to him. With Hani's support, Ferris begins surveilling the safe house. He identifies a known associate of Al-Salim and also notices a young man who is secretly an informant for another CIA handler. When this informant attempts to gather information, he arouses suspicion. The target flees, and a furious Ferris gives chase on foot. After a prolonged pursuit and a brutal confrontation, Ferris kills the man. A stray dog then attacks and bites Ferris severely. To stage the death as a robbery and avoid a police investigation, Ferris takes the man's wallet and personal effects. Injured, he calls his assistant for extraction to a local hospital. There, he is treated by a compassionate nurse named Aisha, who insists he return daily for a week of antibiotic injections to prevent a severe infection. After leaving, Ferris calls Hoffman, enraged that another agent was inserted into his operation without his knowledge, compromising the mission. He demands that Hoffman never again interfere without warning. Soon after, Hani Salam summons Ferris to his headquarters, where Ferris discovers Hani's men have captured and are torturing the young informant whose actions compromised the operation. Hani is livid, warning Ferris that this is his city and nothing should occur without his consent. He threatens severe repercussions if the CIA acts unilaterally again. Ferris understands he must maintain Hani's goodwill and acquiesces. The plot then moves to Amsterdam, where a terrorist receives a letter with an address, goes to the location, and detonates a massive bomb, claiming many civilian lives. This event convinces both Ferris and Hani that the terrorist campaign will continue relentlessly, with Jordan likely as the next target. During a drive, Hani reveals his men have captured Mustafa, a man from Ferris's surveillance photos. Hani offers Mustafa a choice: immediate execution or becoming a double agent within Al-Salim's circle. Mustafa, fearing for his life, agrees. Ferris expresses skepticism, arguing such men are unreliable, but Hani remains confident in his assessment of Mustafa's loyalty. When Hoffman learns of the newly placed mole, he flies to Jordan to take personal control. He meets with Hani, impatiently urging him to use Mustafa immediately to locate Al-Salim. Hani refuses to be rushed, insisting that moving too fast will jeopardize everything and that he will deploy Mustafa only when the timing is optimal. Hoffman realizes Hani will not follow his orders. Ferris also warns Hoffman to stay out of field operations, blaming his remote interference for repeated failures. Hoffman pretends to agree but deceives Ferris. He secretly contacts Ferris's assistant, Skip, ordering him to kidnap Mustafa for direct interrogation. Skip's attempt fails. Mustafa fights back, escapes, and the botched operation alerts Al-Salim to heightened CIA activity in Jordan. Meanwhile, Ferris returns to the hospital for his treatments, and his rapport with Aisha deepens into romance. He asks her out, and they spend a day together, with Ferris developing genuine feelings. However, as he drops her at home that night, Hani's men appear. Ferris is stunned to realize Hani has him under constant surveillance and knows every detail of his personal life. Hani's men take Ferris to the safe house location, only to find it ablaze. Al-Salim, alerted by the failed kidnapping attempt, had torched it and eliminated all witnesses to erase evidence. Ferris's investigation is in ruins. Hani is furious, revealing that his men captured Skip, who confessed that Hoffman ordered the kidnapping. Hani confronts Ferris, demanding to know if he was aware of the plan. Ferris meets his gaze and truthfully states he knew nothing and would have stopped it. Hani, however, has reached his limit. He declares his trust in the CIA shattered, stating they ruin everything they touch, and expels Ferris from Jordan, terminating their partnership. Enraged, Ferris attacks Skip for his betrayal and returns to Washington. He confronts Hoffman, yelling that Hani's hard-won trust and months of work were destroyed by Hoffman's arrogance. Unfazed, Hoffman proposes a new plan to regain Hani's confidence. Fabricate a fictitious high-level terrorist to lure out the real network. He believes providing Hani with this credible threat will get Ferris reinstated. Ferris reluctantly agrees and enlists a CIA hacker, Garland. They search for an innocent patsy, settling on Omar Siddiqui, an architect from Dubai. Ferris travels to Dubai, stalks Siddiqui, and after learning his routine, breaks into his home to clone his computer data. Garland plants fabricated emails and financial records, making it appear Siddiqui is planning a major attack. The ruse works. Upon reviewing the manufactured intelligence, Hani believes the threat is genuine and invites Ferris back to Jordan to assist. At the airport, Skip meets him. Ferris delivers a stern warning that Skip's previous actions led to his exile and that any future disobedience will be met with lethal consequences. Skip, terrified, pledges absolute obedience. Back in Jordan, Ferris focuses on his relationship with Aisha, even meeting her family. The mission soon interrupts when Hani shows him Siddiqui's photo, labeling him a top-tier threat. Ferris maintains a stoic facade, hiding his complicity. He then signals Garland to execute the next phase. A meticulously staged, large-scale explosion using professional effects and planted evidence. The attack makes global headlines. From his bunker, a confused Al-Salim becomes obsessed with this unknown rival operating on his turf. Ferris's plan to use Siddiqui as bait succeeds, but he now regrets endangering an innocent man. He attempts to extract Siddiqui to safety but is too late. Al-Salim's specialized team ambushes and captures the architect in a violent street battle, during which Ferris is wounded. In captivity, Siddiqui's frantic pleas of innocence reveal to Al-Salim the CIA's deception. The stakes escalate when Ferris discovers Aisha has been kidnapped, her home ransacked. Desperate, he pleads with Hani for the GID's help. Hani coldly refuses, disclosing that his own spies uncovered the fake bodies from the explosion and traced the digital forgery back to the CIA. He accuses Ferris of insulting Jordan and causing an innocent man's death, offering no assistance. Abandoned, with Hoffman's satellites useless in this scenario, Ferris calls Aisha's phone. An unknown voice answers, offering a trade, Aisha's life for his. Ferris agrees to surrender himself in the desert. The next day, Ferris arrives alone at the remote exchange point. Hoffman watches via satellite, confident he can track Ferris to Al-Salim's lair. However, The terrorists arrive in multiple SUVs and drive in high-speed circles, kicking up an impenetrable dust cloud that blinds the satellite. Under this cover, they transfer Ferris to a vehicle and scatter. Hoffman's multi-billion-dollar technology is defeated by a simple tactic. Taken to a hideout, Ferris is brought before Al-Salim. Defiant, he demands to see Aisha. Al-Salim responds with genuine bewilderment, stating he never kidnapped any nurse. As Ferris's heart sinks with the realization he's been manipulated, Al-Salim's men begin torturing him, breaking his fingers with a hammer. Just as Al-Salim orders his execution, the compound is stormed by Hani Salam's GID. Special forces in a precise assault. Al-Salim attempts to flee in a waiting car, only to find the driver is one of Hani's undercover agents. Recovering in a Jordanian hospital, Ferris is visited by Hani, who unveils the final twist. Hani himself orchestrated Aisha's kidnapping. Knowing the CIA's plot was a fabrication, he ran his own operation, using Aisha as the perfect bait to compel Ferris's surrender. He then used his ground-level human intelligence to track the terrorist vehicles, a task beyond the CIA's satellites. Hani mocks the agency's arrogance, proving his traditional methods succeeded where their technology failed. He assures Ferris that Aisha is safe and has been returned to her family. Later, Ed Hoffman visits, offering Ferris a comfortable desk job in Washington as a reward. Having witnessed too much betrayal and bloodshed, Ferris looks at his boss and declares he is staying in Jordan. He formally resigns from the CIA. In the final scene, Hoffman is back in the U.S., watching a satellite feed showing Ferris walking through a bustling market toward Aisha's home. A technician asks if they should maintain surveillance. Hoffman observes the man who sacrificed everything for a sliver of truth and finally says, "No, let him go." The screen cuts to black. Roger Ferris is, at last, a free man,